We all run out of breath sometimes. And today I want to give you some tips to counteract that. Okay, the first thing to check on your checklist, just to make sure that you're doing this, are you in a good posture? Because if you're not, you can't really fill your lungs with air as much as you should. So lift from the sternum, make sure you expand your ribs when you're inhaling, and then take a deep breath. It's amazing how many singers I see and how many students I have that keep running out of breath. And they think the problem is the outward motion, but the problem already begins in the inward motion. So take a deep breath. Make sure it's actually deep. Expand all the way. And in order to do that, I'm going to give you a couple exercises. So number one, we're going to inhale on the count of 4. So 4 counts inhaling and then 4 counts exhaling. And just so that you're on the right timing, you're going to use a metronome. You can just use any metronome, like an analog one, or an app like I have one, and then turn it up to like 72. And then we're going to start the breathing. Go. Now, you will notice that the inhaling doesn't have as much resistance as the exhaling because we're using our lips to blow out. What I want you to do, though, is pace. I don't want you to be done inhaling on 2. I want you to draw it out to where it does take 4 counts to go fully inhaled and to take that time to slowly expand your ribs. And when you go out, I want you to be fully exhaled as you are exhaling. Okay, so once you're finished with the 4 counts, you have exhaled all the air. And preferably, you will have done it not faster than slower, but at an even pace. Does that make sense? So let me do that one more time. Go. You will notice how it feels very different. Pushing outward, it feels almost like your diaphragm has to push much harder to go out. Going inward, there's no resistance. So it could be much faster inhaling. But taking that time makes you more aware of the pace. And it's all about anticipating the pace. The next thing that you can do to help you support so that you can keep the air in more is to push on something. So either stand in front of a wall, make sure you don't compromise your posture, and push against it as you are singing the phrase that you're having trouble with. Push against it. Or if someone's there to help you, lean back, kind of go in a kind of a straddle position, lean back, and then put one leg in the front, one in the back, and then have someone push against your back. And then you try to sing. So when you're having to push against something, again, without compromising that posture in your upper body, you have to activate your support. When your activated support is there, usually you have a lot more control over the air that moves outward. The next thing you can do is actually lift weights and pace yourself. So whenever you're singing a phrase, it's a little hard to do this with a microphone, but make a circular movement. For as long as your phrase lasts, do it in an even pace. And then, don't finish until the phrase is finished. This will help you, number one, visually kind of see how long do I have left until I have to end the phrase to kind of pace yourself. And second of all, again, it's that you activate your support by having some physical movement. A lot of times what does help, what I do with my students also is put a chair on one side of the room and then put another chair on the other side of the room, or like anything like where you could just sit down, sing your phrase, take your breath. And as soon as you start singing, you get up, you start moving toward the other chair, but you want to move at an even pace and you want to anticipate how long is this phrase going to take. So move, and your breath has to last until you have arrived. Kind of doing this in a physical motion Sometimes it could also help to kind of like maybe do an arm gesture. These are just crutches to help your brain remember what it should feel like. And then when you don't do these things anymore, your brain remembers. You don't want to continue doing these things. You want to just be centered and not have to do any motions, but these things can help. Straw exercises are also helpful because they create that semi-occluded vocal tract. You have to engage your support. You have to have good vocal cord closure. But these things I think are really helpful. They're a starting point in order to identify, is it the inward breath? Is it the outward breath? Is it a pacing issue? If it's a vocal cord closure issue, you have to start working on that a bit more. I have videos about vocal cord closure. You may want to look them up. Have a great day. Until next time, always keep a song in your heart and always keep on singing.